Social media creating a divide between men and women?
I think social media is creating a divide between people and themselves. And what I mean by that is so many people are posting a facade. And then the worst part about posting the facade is when they meet you in real life, you have to be that way.
You are not.
So now you are putting yourself into a position where you constantly have to be something that you're not. And it's an identity crisis. So I think that social media, is absolutely creating a divide as far as women projecting themselves and objectifying themselves. I think that people think that they have way more options than they actually have on social media. I think that there's a lot of toxicity on social media that people are addicted to be completely honest. It's the new heroin. It's the new cocaine. It's the new weed. It is a drug. So I think that a divide is happening on social media because people are not being themselves and they're not taking the time to get to know who they are or what it is that they actually want. They're just being who society says they should be.
There was a trend. You remember that trend where it was the Lion King melody? I'm gonna take my social media to see who loves me online. That was a thing.
I'm gonna what my social media?
Check my social media to see who loves me online.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Social media creating a divide between sexes. Go ahead, Trey. I know you sent this to me. What are your thoughts about it, sir? And then we'll go to Mila.
Yeah, she's right. It's really bad. It's really bad. You see it done by men. You see it done by women. We get into these spaces. We really fall into these ideologies that we knew nothing about before just because someone made a compelling argument. We follow people who we never otherwise would. We start to blur the lines in between reality and social media, right? And we just have to understand a couple things. For one, even when you're just scrolling through your feed, it's just their highlight reels. It's never their lowlights, right? People don't really show you the process, right? And even if people show you the grind, it's always sensationalized. It's never like, damn, it's a bad day for me. This is my rock bottom right here. It's not usually that. That's not what people usually post, right? People post when they're on vacation. They don't post the fact that they're home now with eating oodles and noodles and missed the light bill because they were on vacation every week this month, right? So we just have to understand what it is that we're looking at. And it is a facade. They mentioned facade. It absolutely is, right? Because a lot of people are too afraid to show who they really are. They want you to just look at this version of them. Social media has afforded people the opportunity to be something else. It could be their alter ego. It could be whatever it is that you want to be, whatever it is that you want to project, right? I could be doing whatever I want right now. Right now, I could be in an entirely messed up room, right? I could have holes in the wall beside me. Like all you see is this frame right now. You don't know what's going on in front of me. You don't know what's going on behind me. You don't know what type of living conditions that I'm facing right now. You're just judging based on whatever I project to you through this camera and through this mic. That's all you know. And whatever I say, if I know how to articulate myself enough, then you're going to believe it. And it's really ruining people, and it's giving people unrealistic expectations, right? And it's forcing people to do things that they shouldn't. You see BBL, the craze. I don't think that it would have taken off. It did. Social media didn't glorify it, right? It didn't attract so much likes, so much attention, so many comments, everything else that it does. I don't think that will go on that is a lot, and we're able to get the attention that we want just by doing a lot of the wrong things, right? If you go ahead and do something crazy and you film it, you're going to get way better hits than if you were doing something productive most of the time, right? And as far as it creating a divide, absolutely. I could find myself guilty of it easy too, right? Because what I try to do is put things out there that would help people, right? But you know what? I can't even do it the way I would want to do it. I have to present it in a different way for it to reach enough people. If I don't really put a lot into my editing, if I don't really, really sensationalize it, right? And sometimes become polarizing. People don't care. Nobody's going to like it. Nobody's going to watch it. And if this is what you do for a living, you won't get paid. So when we're faced with these types of circumstances, it's very easy for us to do the wrong thing, right? It's very hard for us to be ourselves, right? And I encourage people to be yourselves. People, you don't want people to accept you for something that you're not, right? Because it's not real. If you're looking at me right now and I'm not really being myself, what does that really mean? Do people really love you? Do people really like you? If they don't like you for what you really are, what the hell does that even matter? I'll let it go for now.
All right. Go ahead, Mila. What are your thoughts about it? I think you might get to hit that reset button. Yeah, you might get the reset. I'm gonna come back to you.
There's
We're
some
gonna get
crickets in the background.
Hmm?
There's some. Am I the only one that heard crickets?
crickets.
Crickets?
Man, I saw up and down. I heard some crickets. Man, I'm tweaking.
All right. I think she came back. Let me go ahead and get it back in the mix.
Can y'all see me now or hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I 100% agree. I am a person that is very authentic. Um, and so this is like what I'm passionate about. But I will say that unfortunately, if you are a person like me, right, if you got bullied, you got talked about, whatever, I can understand why, like, as an adult, you don't know who you are, or you don't love yourself, or you have doubts about yourself, or you like are trying to put on this facade, right? And so I think a lot of the issues that we find with social media and people pretending or whatever is because they don't love themselves and they don't know who they are. And I don't think like growing up in school, right? Or like in our families, especially in our community, we're not taught to like just be yourself, right? Like if you was a nerd, you got bullied for being smart. Or if you didn't dress a certain way, you got talked about. Or if you didn't have this certain type of money, you felt the way. So then we grow up and we're trying to like, accommodate for those things that we didn't have. And now with social media, you see people becoming millionaires and everybody influencers and everybody content creators and podcasters. And now it's like this instant gratification. And so now of course you want that too, not realizing that, everybody's journey is different. Everyone is going to be different. That's what makes the human and life experience what it is, because we're going to be different. You may be a little more intelligent. You may be a little quirky. You may be a little weird. You may be super pretty. You may not, whatever it is. But I think that all of this stems from us not teaching at a young age on like really loving yourself, loving your quirks, loving the good, loving the bad, loving the ugly. And I think, until we like really address the root cause of all of this and people start being really authentic about the content that they're putting out, because I think a lot of this can start with the content creators, the celebrities, the athletes, all of this who perpetuate this ideology that like life is so great. In reality, life is not great all the time. Like life be lifing, and I'm really big on my platform to be authentic. Like I've had a lot of bad shit happen, and I like to like show like you gonna have some L's and you gonna have some W's. And if people gonna fuck with you, they gonna fuck with you. And if they not, they not. But at the end of the day, you gotta love yourself, and the people that's supposed to be in your corner and be in your tribe, they gonna be there. And the people that's not, they not gonna fuck with you. And I just hate that I see so many young people who really like don't love themselves or like don't have no worth because they're comparing themselves to these BBL girls or these content creators or these people that's having surgery or there's people that's doing all of this, and it's so unfortunate. And I don't know how to shift this, right? Because I don't think social media is gonna go anywhere, right? Because so many people are making money from it, so it's not gonna go nowhere. But I don't know, like, as content creators or as, you know, all of y'all, like, how can we help shift this narrative? Because it's really getting ridiculous. And it's now impacting relationships. It's impacting so many things. And I don't know. I wish that I love social media, but then I also hate social media at the same time. I think it was great and it was a good way for us to connect and to meet and find resources. But I think we've got so disconnected from like society and real interactions that people don't know how to take the real from the fake. And I don't know how to change that narrative. That's like something that I would love to, you know, figure out. But yeah, that's just my perspective. You know, I hope with time and as, you know, we start to develop, maybe we can start getting back to our roots and start, you know, connecting in real life and like really taking our different platforms and actually making a positive impact instead of like just getting so caught up in the glitz and the glam, because that is not reality. But yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Sweeney.
Um, you know, it's crazy. I don't think social media ruin people. I think people ruin social media. And I'm gonna explain. When they started trying to make it where you had to trying to monetize social media, that's when it was destroyed. I don't know. Y'all remember them first days of like them first couple years of Facebook and like MySpace and YouTube at that time? Like it was beautiful at that time. We was all connecting, having dope ass conversations. People was kicking it, meeting up with old friends from high school that you didn't know that you ain't seen in 20 years. It was like the conversations were better. But as soon as everybody started trying to monetize it, and next thing you know, we started creating. Then like you add like the Mark Zuckerberg and all of them in there, and then they started creating snapshots of people's lives, and then they started limiting it. All you can do is then they created Instagram where it's just pictures, and then like YouTube became monetized, and everybody just started trying to make a bag off of it. Who can go viral and whatnot. But it used to be a time where, man, we used to really just connect. That's what it was for at first. Like, and now you don't even like Facebook was dope when it first came out. It was dope. And now we're here. When nobody tell people don't even like Facebook anymore. They like, you know what I mean? Now it's toxic everywhere, all these weird ass groups. We ruined it. We showed our ass. That's what happened. We got on there and we showed our ass. And I don't nobody like it. But you can make a bag off of it. You can show a snapshot of your life and look at me eat this fucking sandwich, or check this out. I got an opinion on that, and who can go viral quickly, and TikTok and all this other shit. It's not genuine anymore. We not genuine people. We get on there, we try to show out. But it used to be beautiful. We ruined it.
All right. Go ahead, Casey. You want to say something, Mila?
I was gonna say, do you think we can get that back, or it's just ruined forever? I love Facebook. When you had to be invited, when you had that little email and you was in school, that was the best time. But
We ain't going back because they regular people get monetized on that. Now everybody, hey, y'all noticed? I don't know if all y'all on Facebook right now, but y'all notice that every time somebody post something now, they say, "Oh, you got to go in the comments to get the full context or get the video now." Like, who the fuck do all of that? It used to be post a video, we either like it or we don't. Now you trying to create engagement on your post so you can get paid by Facebook rather than just putting out some genuine shit, and either we like it or we don't.
oh, I didn't know Facebook started doing that. Okay, I didn't know that. Um, we lost. Maybe they do need to get rid of TikTok then. Maybe we can start there. I don't know.
Go ahead, Casey.
So, no, I'm enjoying listening to everyone on this topic. I don't have much right now, but I agree with Trev. Um, to the most point, like people are followers, and that's literally what social media is, right? People, for the most part, people are followers. when it comes to the dollar, when it comes to advertisement, people follow trends, people are easily influenced. All these words, um, the large companies knew that when they realized how MySpace and Facebook was really affecting society, and how the human brain works and how people are. And I think I talked about this a couple episodes ago about how I'm really into documentaries when it comes to like cult leaders and different things like that in history, about how people will literally give their entire life for an individual, like just literally leave the world, leave whatever they know, leave their parents, anything that's been ingrained in them. They will leave it all to go follow um, a person and be influenced by a person to go live in a farm somewhere or desert or whatever. And it's really interesting because it all transcends to what social media is and how marketing um, affects people, how advertisement affects people. Um, Influence is really, it's a real thing. It's not fake. And the human brain is so fragile. Some people may have, are able to control how their brain works a little bit better than others, but for the most part, it's extremely fragile with influence and marketing and advertisement. And social media has provided a clear highway of business to consumer brain, like a straight, direct highway from a concept to I need to get into your pockets. And Instagram, TikTok, all of these other Facebook, the companies are able to utilize that, and it helps small business as well, not just big business, right? But that's what social media has become. It's all about advertisement, as Sweeney was saying. It's all about the dollar. It's all about influence, how much money I can make, how viral I can go, how provocative I can be. And now you don't see a difference between what is it, OnlyFans and Instagram now. It's like the lines are being blurred. You really can't tell what's what. People just are these individual like real people? Or are they just selling vagina or selling penis? Like you really can't tell the difference. Fitness pages are not fitness anymore. They're like OnlyFans. So it's like all the lines are just being blurred and the waters are muddy. So yeah, I'll end it there. I can just keep rambling.
Twitter is the worst by all means with the whole OnlyFans blur lines. They wild on there.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Casey. It is very, very blurred instead of more so division. I think it's the thing about validation. You know what I'm saying? I think what social media is doing is just validating what you already want or what you already want to see, what you already believe in. It kind of amplifies what you desire. You know what I'm saying? It confirms what you want to believe in, even if it's positive or negative. And so I disagree with the division. I'm more so on I would say it's blending the sexes. More so of making men embrace being feminine and making women embrace, being masculine. But it all stemmed from your original interest. And once you bite the hook, then the algorithm is intelligent enough to pull you in a direction that would not only benefit the platform, but it would also, trap your mind to a point where you'll be stuck, you know what I'm saying, to this quicksand that you stepped into. But if we're going to say that, these things are a part of manipulation, then we also have to say what old girl said about no self-love, and I see a lot of women, and it's funny, she mentioned about women objectifying themselves and stuff. I see a lot of lack of self-love. And I think whenever you had this mindset when you don't need someone, I think you personally, you need someone to love you. It's important to have somebody to love you, and it's a benefit to have somebody else to love you, like a spouse or a girlfriend or whatever. You're in a serious relationship, because then it can help you, you know, stay focused on the thing that's in your best interest, so to speak. But it's when you get into this mindset where you're independent, then you can make yourself a target, because then you think you're all vulnerable and can't nobody touch you. And that's whenever you start getting manipulated. And it's a beautiful thing to have somebody that you love, somebody that's close to you, that's guiding you, helping you, assisting you, and making sure you're making the right decisions based on the best interest of your life and the life and the relationship between y'all two. So that's all I can say about that.
All right, let me go to Chamonix. What you think about this? Do you think social media is creating a divide between sexes?
No, I mean, online, sure. I think that if you log on, you're going to see a divide between sexes. But if you log off, I think people are just carrying on as normal. I don't see people arguing between sexes in real life when I walk outside. I don't know where everybody else lives, but where I am, it doesn't really take place outside of logging onto the computer and seeing it, on a platform or, I do think that people, if anything, I do believe that it creates a delusion as far as your dating market or something like that. And I do think that it affects that more so than it affects a division. It just seems like we're going back and forth. So if I were on the outside looking in, like just say I were in another country and I didn't know how we were in the United States and I see us, of course, I'm like, okay, this going back and forth. But if me living here in the United States, when I walk outside away from the computer, I don't see that. I don't know if do you guys see it outside of?
I don't really see it like in real life. I think that's the issue. Like fake life is confusing us in real life, and we're thinking fake life is real life. But in reality, when you actually go out and mingle with people, it ain't that bad. I mean, it's not that bad, right? People talk. You don't see men and women bickering like high value. you don't see that like in real life. So
I don't think you should expect to see that, because then it's personal. It's your personal thoughts and stuff that's being exposed. And when you're on social media, you protected by a barrier. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you out in person, you typically don't expose that side of yourself or that side of your mind or that side of your thinking unless you're having an intimate conversation with somebody. So it's highly likely that you're not going to see it out when you just walk out into the street and expect somebody to be arguing over whether a woman should be independent or not.
No, I mean, even just mingling. Like if you go to social events or like I go to speed dating events or network, you don't really hear the same conversations that you see like online. I don't experience them in real life, I guess. Maybe that's what you're saying.
Well, if you go to speed dating, typically people are trying to put on their best foot. And if it's a guy, he's trying to finesse you for the box. So he's not going to have an argument over whether you don't have a lot of options.
No, or
whether
even
you
networking
hit the wall or you a leftover woman, he gonna try to get them cheeks and keep it pushing. So you probably not gonna get a truthful conversations at the speed dating.
So I agree with that. I don't think that there's a divide as far as a rift between men and women. But I do think what social media has done is open the eyes on how women think and how men think. And maybe you go into a date knowing how the other person really feels about something.
That's what I was about to say, Shan, is that I think it translates into men and women not getting together. Yeah. I think it translates into preconceived notions based on what is spread throughout social media, is that you see less, and we're in Black YouTube, so you see less Black women and men getting together based on ideologies and different points of view that are pumped into certain people that are influenced by social media. That's what I think.
Well, are they really influenced by social media? Are they just?
I think it depends on
they're manipulating the way we date.